Worst ever England World Cup moments. Did you know that David Beckham was once the most hated man in England? And do you know what he did to deserve that title? Keep watching to find out. The English are the ones who invented the modern game of football as we know it today. Despite writing the rules, they are criticised for winning the World Cup only once in their entire history. Not only do they fail to find glory in World Cup competitions, but they have found themselves in the most humiliating and the most unfortunate of situations over the years. In today's video, we bring you England's worst ever World Cup moments. Can you guess who number one will be? Leave a comment now with your prediction. No cheating, and don't forget to click the like button, hit subscribe button, and then go grab a nice cool beer and let's get into it. Number 10, Stuart Pearce and Chris Waddle, penalty miss 1990. The penalty shootout in the 1990 World Cup was England's first ever shootout, but surprisingly the confident England side looked like they were veterans from the spot as they scored the first three penalties comfortably. Gary Lineker, Peter Beardsley and David Platt converted with ease from the spot with their composed finishing. The fourth one was taken by club captain Stuart Pearce, who struck the ball with power at West Germany keeper Bodo Inger's legs, failing to score from the spot. West Germany went ahead 4-3 as England goalkeeper Peter Shilton failed to keep out Olaf Thon's penalty. Up next was Chris Waddle for England, and he needed to score to keep the English in the World Cup. Unfortunately, his powerful spot kick lacked accuracy, and the once hopeful England team was out of the World Cup after failing to convert two consecutive penalties. Number 9, England 0 versus Algeria 0, 2010. Even after a draw against USA in the opening game of the World Cup 2010, England were confident about qualifying to the knockout stages as the next games were against Algeria and Slovenia, respectively. Before kick-off, Rooney undermined their opponents at the press conference and claimed that they would win the match without performing at their best. However, his words backfired as Algeria kept England at a tie till the final whistle. It was one of the dullest games ever in a World Cup, and a draw left England's progress to the later stages on a knife edge. Algerian player Majid Bohira commented that Rooney delivered Algeria's team talk for them. However, that wasn't Rooney's most controversial moment that night, as he lost his patience and shouted at a passing TV camera the words, "Not nice to hear your own fans booing you." Number 8, Rob Green's clanger in 2010. In the 2010 World Cup group stage draws, England was placed in Group C with USA, Slovenia and Algeria. Most people argued that this group was comparatively easy for the English in contrast with other groups, as they looked to finish on top as the group champions. England were up against USA for the first game of the group, and they were confident about securing all 3 points in the game. The Three Lions had a great start to the match as Steven Gerrard scored on the 4th minute mark for the English. Things were looking decent for England as they were enjoying their 1-0 lead comfortably up until 5 minutes before the break. West Ham keeper Rob Green's lack of concentration in the following moments would haunt him forever. Clint Dempsey's shot from 25 yards out was squeezed in between Green's hands and rolled painfully over the goal line as he tried his best to recover, but he failed to do so. The match ended in a draw. Number 7, England 1, Germany 4, 2010. Even after a disappointing start to their World Cup campaign, failing to finish on top of an easy Group C, the English managed to make it to the round of 16 where they faced mighty Germany. The English fans were hopeful as the match started, but were soon in disbelief as Germany scored 2 goals in the matter of 12 minutes. The goals from Miroslav Klose and Lukas Podolski meant that the Germans were now in complete control of the match, and that England had to conjure some magic to keep their hopes up of staying in the World Cup. The English were given a lifeline in the form of Matthew Upson's header just before half-time. After the break, the game was killed off with a quick Germany counter-attack as Thomas Muller scored twice past a sloppy English defence in 3 minutes. England were humiliated by Germany with 4 goals as their World Cup run was put to an end. Number 6, David Beckham red card 1998. The 1998 World Cup round of 16 match between Argentina and England was one of the most nail-biting end-to-end knockout games ever in the World Cup. Just 5 minutes into the game, English keeper David Seaman fouled Argentina's Diego Simeone to give away a penalty kick, which was converted by the ferocious strike of Batistuta. 3 minutes later, England's youngster Michael Owen was fouled and won a spot kick, which was put in the net effortlessly by Alan Shearer. Michael Owen scored the next goal for England, but it was equalised by Javier Zanetti just minutes before half-time. Right after the break, United star David Beckham faced his worst nightmare when he kicked Diego Simeone and got sent off. England had to play the next 75 minutes with 10 men and would go on to lose to Argentina on penalties. Following this incident, Beckham officially became the most hated man in England as his recklessness put their World Cup run to an end. Before moving on to number 5, here's a quick question. Who do you think will lift the World Cup this year? Let us know in the comments below. Number 5. 5. Ronaldinho free kick goal 2002. The quarterfinals between Brazil and England in the World Cup 2002 was one to watch. England were quick to take the lead at the Shizuoka Stadium after their promising youngster Michael Owen opened the scoring in the 23rd minute, but the lead was soon equalised by Brazilians' main man Rivaldo on the brink of half-time. Right after the resumption of the second half, Brazilians magician Ronaldinho gave them the lead by scoring a screamer from a free kick 40 yards out after he saw the English goalkeeper David Beckham off his line. Everyone was expecting a cross from Ronaldinho, but instead he went for the front page headlines, carrying the hopes of an entire country behind him. The goal was not the only highlight of Ronaldinho, as he managed to get sent off a couple of minutes later, but by then he had already scored the winning goal to become Brazil's hero of the match. Number 4. One-leg Suarez destroys England 2014. England had a disappointing start to their World Cup campaign as they had lost their opening game against Italy. They needed a win against the South Americans to have any chance of qualifying for the round of 16. The script was opened by Uruguay's main frontman Luis Suarez as he had scored past the confused English defence. Prior to this match, Suarez had injured his left knee in training, which meant that the Uruguayan was incapable of giving his 100% physicality. He had to undergo keyhole surgery and was even pictured sitting in a wheelchair, which raised doubts about his availability for the game. The game was soon levelled up by England's top scorer, Wayne Rooney, but the script was still incomplete as the one-legged Uruguayan striker brought back the game in the dying moments by scoring the winning goal in the 85th minute. This was all he could give as he collapsed almost immediately after the goal, but not before knocking the English out of the World Cup and securing a place for his countrymen in the knockout stages. Number 3. Wayne Rooney's red card against Portugal and Ronaldo's wink 2006. The quarter-final match between England and Portugal in the 2006 World Cup was a thrilling match, especially for Manchester United fans, as the two best players of their team would come face to face in a match of very high stakes. The match was end to end from the start but failed to provide any goals in the first half, thanks to both teams' solidarity in defence. After the resumption of the second half, England striker Wayne Rooney got into a rumble with Ricardo Carvalho and then proceeded to stomp on the Chelsea defender, getting himself a red card from the match referee Horacio Elizondo. But the main focus was on Rooney's United teammate Cristiano Ronaldo, who argued with the referee that Rooney had to walk and was also seen to deliver a cheeky wink when his clubmate was sent off. England went on to lose the game on penalties, where Ronaldo scored the first goal for Portugal. Number 2. Maradona dribbles past the entire English defence from midfield to score 1986. This World Cup quarter-final match between Argentina and England was a once-in-a-lifetime match for any football fanatics out there. This match had everything: passion, flair, controversies, and most importantly, the goal of the century. The first goal came at 51 minutes and was one of the biggest controversial events in the history of football. We will discuss that in the following part of the video. Soon after the first goal, Argentina had doubled their lead when Maradona dribbled from midfield past 5 English defenders: Peter Beardsley, Peter Reid, Terry Butcher, Terry Fenwick and the English goalkeeper Peter Shilton to score. The game came to be known as the goal of the century, and the Argentine side would go on from there to win the 1986 World Cup, knocking England out and winning the finals against West Germany. Diego Maradona was awarded the Golden Ball for being the player of the tournament. Number 1. Maradona's Hand of God 1986. As mentioned in the previous section of the video, the knockout game between Argentina and England in the 1986 World Cup had one of the biggest controversial events in the history of sports, not just football. In the 51st minute of the game, an intercepted ball was kicked back to the English keeper, Peter Shilton, but was intercepted by the Argentine legend, Diego Maradona, who flicked the ball towards the net with his left fist, resulting in the most controversial goal of all time and earning the title of the Hand of God goal. The goal stood as the referee did not have a clear view of the goal, and seconds later Maradona scored another goal with sheer class, dancing through the English defence, which gave Argentina a 2-0 lead in less than 5 minutes and won them the game. The unfortunate England side were knocked out of the World Cup and Argentina was en route to winning it. Before we end today's video, prepare to be baffled by this surprising fact. Did you know that the FIFA World Cup trophy was called the Jules Rimet Trophy from 1930 to 1970? It was named after the FIFA president Jules Rimet, who in 1929 passed a vote to initiate the competition. We have reached the end of the video. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to click the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel for more football related videos. For more interesting football videos, click the video appearing on the screen and I will see you in the next video.